Greetings, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
So I'd like to welcome all of you. Today's session is the first class in this workshop. There's a couple students left, but I will start anyways. I will just warm up. So just a quick introduction. My name is Miss Mary. I'm a language acquisition expert. I'm specialized in neurolinguistics, TESOL certified Canadian board teacher. Have experience over 8 years. And I would like to shout out to Ru'a, our facilitator in Amman. All right. For those who are joining us on YouTube, welcome to IELTS Arabia's workshop. All right, so I will start just a refresh about what we spoke in the webinar, which is the info session. Today, we'll talk about Unit 1 and the listening module. Before we get started, since we have a couple of students didn't join us yet. So the listening module in the exam, you will have 30 minutes. And in these 30 minutes, you will listen to 4 types of recordings. The 4 types of recording, they are differentiated as sections. So there is section 1, which is a general everyday topic. And it's usually a conversation between 2 people. Section 2, on the other hand, is also a general everyday topic, but there's only one person speaking. So when there is one person speaking, we call it a monologue. Section 3 and Section 4, it's all about the academic, okay? So the AT candidates. But since in the listening, everybody will be taking the same exam. So this is like the differentiation that we're talking about here. Section 3 is a conversation between 2 or more. So it could be 3, 4 people, and it's always in an academic setting. Now, the topics basically are related to school, universities, researching, or maybe a professor with the students, or maybe students between each others. They could discuss assignments, everything related to academic settings. And then 4, you've got the lecture, which is...
Hello, I have a question here, please. This session is already recorded, and can we have it recorded?
Yeah, it's already on YouTube. We're live on YouTube.
Yeah, can you share the link at the end of the session?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
My pleasure. And section 4, we've got the lecture, as I said, and the lecture is all about a specific academic topic. And of course, it's one person speaking about that topic. Okay. All right. Next thing we have in our agenda, we'll start here. All right, so for the listening, they are assessing 4 main criteria in the exam. One of the main and most important one is how you can pick up the main idea in the recording. So it says right here, in a talk or a lecture, the main idea is the overall message, okay, given by the speaker about the topic. All right, now, in the conversation, and when we say conversation, we are talking about section 1 and section 3. Okay, so when we say in a conversation, it's basically 1, which is the general conversation, and 3, we said the academic setting conversation. Okay, it's important that we kind of visualize the recording. Okay, so for those of you just joining us, welcome. So yeah, we just started right now talking about the assessment and how they assess the listening exam. And we said that the main thing or the most important exam criteria, they want to, excuse me, I just want you guys to be on mute because I can hear myself.
No, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. All right, I just need you please to be on mute because I can hear myself already from various sources. Thank you so much. All right. So we were just starting the unit 1. In unit 1, we're talking all about the assessments. Okay. The first thing that you've been tested on the exam is how you can pull out the main idea in the conversation. And we want to, when we say that the main idea, we're talking about the purpose of the conversation. What is the topic that they're talking about? And I said that earlier, we need to visualize, okay, the actual conversation. So just like you are hearing it, try to visualize it, understand the topic, what's going on, and how the speakers feel, okay? This is the exercise that we will do just so you can understand better what you're talking about. So this exercise will be useful for completing section 1 and section 3 in the IELTS listening tests. Okay, so those are skill practices, okay? The question here is, why is the woman phoning? Okay, and we'll listen to that conversation. I'll give you options if you find it hard, but it should be fine, okay?
You will hear part of a telephone conversation between a man and a woman. Good morning. I'm looking for a second-hand washing machine, and I was wondering if you could help me. Oh, that's a pity.
I'll repeat that again. Although in IELTS, we only repeat the actual recording once, but since it's just a skill practice.
You will hear part of a telephone conversation between a man and a woman. Good morning. I'm looking for a second-hand washing machine, and I was wondering if you could help me. Oh, that's a pity.
All right. So what do you guys think? Why is the woman phoning? Does she want to buy a new washing machine, or do you want to buy a second-hand washing machine, or probably have her washing machine repaired?
She's looking for second-hand, not a new one.
Yes, great job. So she is actually looking to buy a second-hand washing machine, right? Okay, so that's just to get the idea that in the recording, whatever the recording is, we need to understand the topic. And usually at the beginning, tomorrow we'll go through the scripts and how it works in the exam and how they will stop and how many minutes, because tomorrow is going to be more about the strategies. For today, so it's important to understand the assessments. So this one is just an example that we need to really be attentive when it comes to the beginning, because they tell you the topic, what's going on, and you need to think about the purpose of the conversation. Next thing is the factual information. It's crucial in IELTS. They always look for, in all of the sections, they want factual information. So they want you to pull up information from the recording. And those type of informations are very specific. So it identifies a specific criteria that they want from the recording, like, for example, name, phone numbers, and etc. Okay, addresses, and so on. So this is an exercise that we will do together right now, so we can get to understand this assessment criteria in the exam. But listen to the recording. We need to basically pick the phone number of Harry's used appliances. Okay, so I need your skills to catch the number of Harry's used appliances.
Between a man and a woman.
Good morning. I'm looking for a second-hand washing machine, and I was wondering if you could help me. Oh, that's a pity. Do you know of anywhere else that might be able to help me? Yes. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay, can I read it back to you? That's 0744516210. Yes, so do I. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, guys. So who caught the number? Can someone tell us?
I got a part of it.
Okay.
Not fully. But
It's okay.
anyway, we can focus. If you repeat it again, we can get it again more.
Okay, I will repeat
think
again.
67455416210.
You're close. Just I'm gonna repeat it. It could be the sound that is not very clear.
I think it starts 074445 something.
Yes, it's correct. 074. Okay. Let's repeat.
You would come to the section between a man and a
A second-hand washing machine, and I was wondering if you could help me. Oh, that's a pity. Do you know of anywhere else that might be able to help me? Yes. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay, can I read it back to you? That's 0744516210. Yes, so do I. Thank you. Bye.
All right. So let's recap. Who got it this time?
07445162110.
210. Yes, good job. Great job. Good job, Salah. So it's indeed 074451621 and 0 at the end. Great. So now I'm just reassured that everything is all right when it comes to factual informations. The next thing is, since section 1 and section 3 is a conversation, as we said, it's important that we understand, and in the workshop, we'll work closely on how we can understand the argument and the agreement of the speakers in the conversation, okay? Because you might have, for example, in section 3, multiple speakers, and each one of them have their own accents, their own opinions, their own attitude. Sometimes the opinion itself that you might have as a question is not it's not clear, okay? So the person might be hesitant, or the person might be not interested, but not exactly straightforward. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a little bit like in the way that they talk, in the attitude, in the wording that they use. So we're gonna go through these details in further on the workshop. However, here there's always a problem and there's a solution when it comes to these type of conversation, especially in section 3. Section 1 is the easiest, and throughout the exam you will go from easy to harder, kind of, or more challenging. I'm not gonna say hard, but it's more challenging as you go through the sections, because it gets faster. The accents might change. There will be more people talking. All right. We're gonna listen to the recording, and in this exercise, you just need to identify 2 things. What is the problem, and what is the solution?
Many people make
Right. Let's assign the different parts of the project between ourselves. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you were sick for that lecture. You know, the problem is we really need to decide on our roles now. It's only, 3 days until the deadline. Yes, it was so interesting. That's a good idea. Then we'll draw up a plan.
Okay, now when it comes to the problem here, they are basically talking about a new project. So they want to start making a new project. The solution is that they will review the lectures before making the plan, because he missed the lecture. Okay, so the problem and the solution is important also in conversations, section 1 and section 3. All right, next one is section 4, which is the last section. You will have to listen to a conversation, and it's always about something academic. It could be a very narrow topic, specifically related to some majors. You don't need to know all about, new wordings, but it's important that in the workshop we will work about specific information and specific words that we will look out throughout the lecture, so it will help us to understand it. This will be like the unit 6. Okay, not now. It's going to be a little bit more further because it's section 4. I'm just waiting for the recording. Okay. So here we will listen to the recording. We need just to pick the appropriate word that completes the sentence. They're talking about genetically modified crops. And they have because they. So you got gaps, 2 gaps. The first gap is completing this sentence, genetically modified crops. It could be can feed more people than normal crops or grow better than normal crops. Because they, you can choose one of these as well. Okay, so we'll listen to the conversation. From our understanding, as you know that the IELTS is not always straightforward. You will always listen to something, and on the exam paper or your screen, you will see a paraphrase, a synonym, some explanation or some words that are close in the meaning to what you heard. So that's this challenging part in the IELTS. Let's go to the last part. From our understanding, so genetically modified crops, they can grow better than normal crops because they can feed more people than normal crops. So this is just a comparison between normal crops and genetically modified crops. Okay, so this is just to get an idea about how section 4 is. And that's just a skill practice, okay? As we said, the last thing but not least, sometimes the answer is basically the attitude. So how the person reacted to that information. So they will ask you about, for example, what Mark thought about Dr. Smith's lecture material was. We will listen to that recording, but I just need you to think about how he feels in that situation and picture his reaction, okay, in your head and connect it to the recording. You've got 3 options: valuable, too detailed, or unimportant. Okay, we'll listen to that audio.
Well, I think it's good. Thanks to that lecture material from Dr. Smith. Well, I thought the part about Max Planck's theory was really useful. I included a lot of detail about his experiments.
Again.
Well, I think it's good. Thanks to that lecture material from Dr. Smith. Well, I thought the part about Max Planck's theory was really useful. I included a lot of detail about his experiments.
All right, so what about this one? Does he, based on his reaction when he said, I found it or I irrelevant, when someone says that something is irrelevant, is it valuable or too detailed or unimportant? What do you guys think?
I think she stated that it is rich, useful, and she got like a lot of details from his material. So I think it's valuable. I think it's valuable. I think it's not too detailed in a boring way. It is valuable. Yeah, that's what I got. What I understood actually.
Yes, you are right. But the question is about Mark, the guy, the man in the voice of the man. So, what Mark thought. The girl, yes, you're right. Absolutely. That's basically her reaction. What about Mark?
Actually, I'm not sure. I just heard a girl's voice.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna just repeat it again.
Well, I think it's good, thanks to that lecture material from Dr. Smith. Well, I thought the part about Max Planck's theory was really useful. I included a lot of detail about his experiments.
I'll repeat that again. It sounds like because I have a sound cancellation system. Okay, I'll replay it.
I'm not sure, but maybe a part of the speech is missing, and you feel like the girl is talking, but no one is replying back.
Yeah, because I have now a noise cancellation system, so it happens sometimes. Okay? So there's only the girl, so the only female, which it's just a system. I'm just gonna remove the noise cancellation and we'll re-listen to it.
How's your assignment going?
Well, I think it's good, thanks to that lecture material from Dr. Smith.
Oh, I couldn't see any relevance to it actually, so I left it out.
Well, I thought the part about Max Planck's theory was really useful. I included a lot of detail about his experiments.
So he says that I thought the part of this lecture was irrelevant. So which means that Mark thought that the material was...
Yes, I think unimportant.
Exactly. Absolutely genius. Great job. So that is the way that you will hear the answers in IELTS. There's always paraphrasing or synonyms. Okay. All right. Now, the next thing that we will talk about as topic. Okay, here. Okay, now since we will work on a lot of different things in this workshop, so there's a lot of I want to talk about a lot of things, but for today, because it's really about the assessment, I will talk about few parts, and then tomorrow the strategies. We'll go through a lot of details on how exactly the recording goes, what to do in time management and all of these things. So for today, since we have the language learning pack or the language learning study planner, and we have the 28 plan going on, I will explain it to you guys here. All right. So rule number one, when it comes to the workshop, really go through day by day on your planner. So because studying tend to be boring if you go throughout every day the same thing. So you can maximize your results when it comes to studying the IELTS. It's better that you go through the plan that I put it for you day by day. And I will upload it for today's on the dashboard on Google Classroom. And you'll see exactly what you're going to do in day one. Now, the other thing that we're going to talk about is spaced repetition, which is your vocabulary part. Okay. And also I will talk about the material, which is the free books that I will give you. And tomorrow I will go through details how to utilize the tools. But as of today, spaced repetition. Why I want to talk about spaced repetition. Tomorrow I'll talk about a different methodology, but for today, it's important that when you are studying for IELTS and you want to basically know as much vocabulary as possible in a short period of time. So you want to exercise your brain to recall the words and phrases in order to build up the right vocabulary so you can get the highest band possible. Okay. Now, this is why it's important to know about the spaced repetition or the spaced effect. So if you want to recall information in your brain throughout time, okay, if you see here, this is 100%, okay? So the forgetting curve, so the chances that you will forget is higher if you do not repeat it, okay? So the idea of recalling these words of vocabulary for the IELTS, let's say, because in the planner, it's already like specified what type of vocabulary you should work on. And based on that, I will tell you at the end what tools you need to do that. So, for example, if you want to, this week topic is about nature or basically environment, okay, agriculture, whatever. If you stop repeating, the information will stop being at 100, it will go, and at the exam date, you won't remember anything. So how you can train your brain to recall and retrieve the information that you already studied. Okay, now, of course, it says that the brain stores the information not only in one place, but in several places. Okay. Okay, here's the brain rules. It's forgetting and remembering are always related together, are linked. So if you feel not only in spaced repetition, but I'm talking about in general how the brain functions. If you feel like you are forgetting what you studied for the IELTS, try to reinforce the memory. How you can reinforce the memory is basically by representing the information in different ways. And I spoke in the info session about what type of learner you are. And that's also crucial when it comes to your learning style. So if you feel like, okay, I wrote down the new vocabulary for this topic, but I really do not recall, try other things, try to teach them to your young kids, try to pretend that you're teaching the vocabulary, try to quiz yourself, try to practice on a board or something different, okay? Okay, so this way it highlights the information, okay? And the second rule in your brain is that the memories do not stay the same. Some people had in the past good English and they used to know a lot of words, but because they did not utilize these words, they just forgot about them. And that happens a lot to a lot of people. And a lot of my students have the same issue. So it's important to know that every day the same information that is stored or the same word, it could be stored in your brain, but it could be reformatted. Okay, so it's not the same. Okay, even if you read the same book, it's not going to be the same. It's just your mind changes throughout when you age. Okay, Okay, here you have the rule. It's better to retrieve the information than revisiting the memories. Okay, so this is where spaced repetition falls into, as our brain always the priority is to recur information. Okay, how we can implement spaced repetition in IELTS. So each week we have each day a theme. Okay, let's say for example, we have environment week, or let's say it could be sociology week, or everything related to human and human rights, and or it could be you will see that in the planner better. Whatever the situation is, whatever week we are in, okay, you need to write down the words, and those words you can find them in the material. You can also find them, I'll send you the video. You can also find them anywhere. It's really it's easy to find these words, but I will help you and I will guide you to really know exactly what you're doing. So to do that like a pro, you need, this is day 1. You need to do 5 boxes, not like literal boxes. You can do that on a paper. If you're not a paper person, if you do not like to learn with paper, there is an application for that. There's an app called Anki, okay? And it tracks exactly the words, how many times you repeated them, what's your retrieval percentage for these lists of words. So at the end, you will see. Okay, so this is the first. So this is the first box, box 1. Box 1 is every day. So these are words that you need every day to remember. After you check the list, which is your everyday list, you checked it and you try to rewrite it, or you try to retrieve the information by, you can put your hands and re-say the words, or re-remember the words. It should not be a lot of words, by the way. What matters is that after 2 days, okay, you try to retrieve the information, the same words. If you succeed in remembering these, for example, 6 words or 10 words maximum, you put them, if you succeed, you put them in box 3. Okay, the application Anki will do that by itself. All right, but you can do that the same system in a paper and a pen, or you can use your imagination, your creation, your creative side. Okay, once a week. So this is once a week. When the list of vocabulary is once a week, you will the next time you will retrieve that information will be after a week. After a week, if you still remember it, you go and you put it on once every 2 weeks. And if once in 2 weeks you still remember these words perfectly and how to write them and how to basically utilize the words. I don't care about you knowing the word, but how to use the word. Okay, tomorrow I will talk about that better. How you can use the word is more important that you know the word. So you might know a little words, but you can know how to really use these words, and you can get higher score in IELTS than a person who knows more words, but they don't know how to utilize the words. And if you succeed in box 4, you can put it in box 5, which means that you just perfectly know these words. On the other hand, if you incorrectly answer those cards or these words, it means that you need to put them back to a box before. So if you are, for example, here at box 3 once a week, and once a week you do not remember, you have to put it back to every 2 days. So after 2 days, you need to recall that list. And it could be different lists, but I really recommend the app Anki. I will help you and will give you all the details, okay? All right. Now, this is the curve. This is the memorization. This is 100%. And when you use the spaced repetition when you are studying for your IELTS, you will remember 90% of the words instead of just, you know, and the curve goes down and you go to the exam knowing nothing. You're just like shocked, okay? You say, oh, I studied and I literally, like, I consumed a lot of time doing the, you know, studying and all of that, but you know what happens. So it's important that you keep recalling the informations. Okay, I will show you something here. I personally use a Mindmister. Okay, so www.mindmister.com. This one, you can see.
Miss Mary, but can I interrupt you here? Can you just spell Anki? How you write this? And how we find it on the Play Store? A-N-K-Y?
Yeah, A-N-K-I.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, this one. I don't know how to, you know, it's not working, but okay. Anki here, okay? All right, you can download it on your desktop and it works perfectly. I think iOS might not work with it, but if you have a normal computer or, you know, normal phone, it will work great. Okay. Now, the next thing I wanted to say was, yeah, Mindmister. Mindmister is, let's say, this week is about agriculture, okay? It's basically, you can brainstorm the words, the list of words in a nice way. So you can create your own type of ways. You can be like a mind map, organization chart, or it could be a list. I have one here for the IELTS Arabia. Just to give you an example, it could change, you know, you can change the way that you like to display it. There's different themes and different colors and different ways, and there's pictures you can put. It depends on your own learning style, as I said before earlier. Okay, so that's the IELTS Arabia preparation plan. We have the online lessons, okay, in 4 weeks, but we have a lot of resources, and we've got a lot of, you know, practices as well. There is the study planner, the exam practice, the videos, and the summaries. Okay, so this is just like an example, okay? But to use it in the IELTS, you can use it this way. You can put the, you know, the theme or the topic, and then you can go throughout. Okay, urban development, deforestation. You can go through, for example, global warming, what words that can relate to global warming, how can you talk about global warming, sorry, and etc. Water, irrigation, farming, whatever. Okay. Last thing, okay, is our language study pack. I'll just right now stop sharing on YouTube Live. So if you guys are who are joining us on live YouTube are interested, please email me, mary@ibtsi.com, or you can basically go through my Insta. It's Mary Al-Dairy. You can find me there and you can send me a message. Okay, but not right now. I'm just gonna talk more in details about different things with my students. Thank you for joining, and have a great one for you guys on YouTube. Okay, you guys stay here because I'm not done. This is just the YouTube, guys. Right here.